He's got a very hairy ear.
The C20H24.
This one's quite hairy as well, actually.
It's even hairier, this one.
He's a very well-balanced man, then.
Well, I pull that bit. Does it disappear on the other side? Yes. Sort of mental floss.
Last year it was brown suits, now it's hairy ears.
What's the word for that, then? It would be, because nose hair is nasal hair, that would be what? Sort of ear hair.
Oral.
But oral hair is something you only
get in your mouth.
Yeah.
So what hair do you get in your mouth?
It gets caught in your teeth, doesn't it?
Yes.
Too near the Mandy Smith question. Let's get on.
Jonathan.
Yes, Angus.
Where am I?
You're in the middle of four very lovely men.
Oh, right, yes. Jonathan.
Angus.
The kind of phrases that would be genuinely useful for a Klingon are, where did you get those ridiculous ears? Who's that fat bloke in the wig? And why do all your trousers stop just above the ankles? In response...
It's a bit rich, you having a go at somebody else's ridiculous ears. I might say.
Oh, Bushy over here. Yeah. I think Tufty is the name we're looking for.
A Walkman would be wasted on you. It'd be like trying to listen to a radiogram in the middle of a forest.
If you want me to speak up at any time, I'm more than happy.
I feel a running joke coming on. The owner of Mick the Mongrel was fined £1,000 after Mick was found having sex with his dog collar off. I'm sure the Bishop of Gloucester knows the feeling.
Bishop of Galway, surely.
Well, you should know, Paul.
Has the Bishop of Gloucester been at it as well?
Yeah. So.
They're all at it.
Right.
Allegedly.
How'd you get to be a bishop? Sounds quite a good job.
Her Majesty the Queen and yourself and Jonathan Ross and Nigel Kennedy.
Seem to be wearing lipstick there.
You'd been out with the bishop, hadn't you?
I don't mind pandering to his needs.
But I mean, that's an unfair question, because Nigel Kennedy's is fake estuary English.
Yeah, he really talks like that, doesn't he?
Whereas both of us are terribly proud that it's the real thing, aren't we?
That's right.
And he says, "Monster, I must take a lot of hard drugs, man."
You know what? You should take up impression.
I think you're right.
Because if I hadn't been looking at you, I'd have thought he was here with me then.
The answer is that, according to linguists, all of them, or all of you, except the Queen, are responsible for the spread of what's known as estuary English, so called because it's as clear as mud and flows through a wide mouth. According to experts.
Oh, shut up and comb your ears.
They claim it's
Just
becoming...
read it, Angus.
Go on, Tufty, don't give up, come on. I think, no, what it might be is would it, a stab in the dark here, would it be that all but Lady Grade are practical jokers of some esteem, because Beadle has tricked us all into thinking he's a television presenter, so that would...
Not the only one. McCartney was always being caught with dope. Bill Clinton admitted he smoked it but didn't inhale.
No.
Edgar Hoover was just wild on smack the whole time he was running the FBI.
And he was knee-deep in whores and smack, wasn't he?
He was.
Knee-deep?
And the bishop popped round as well.
Can you be knee-deep in horse? I suppose you can, yeah.
Don't even think about it.
Oh, it's too late, I've started.
No. I better give you the answer rather quickly, I think.
No, don't disturb me, I'm all right. Okay, I'm ready now.
Right, okay.
Angus Deedon's ear hair clipper.
Good evening and welcome to the programme in which the week's major news stories are distilled into 30 minutes of astute observations about people's ear hair. Of rather less import this week, at Earl's Court, Princess Diana and Camilla Parker Bowles find a novel way of settling their differences.
And the Daily Star know why, because he's got a criminal record as long as his arm. He's now 27, been in prison several times, and is rather embarrassed about the whole thing.
It's incredible.
Lost the cute look.
Yeah.
It's a sad thought for those people doing ads now that they'll dig you up in 10 years' time.
Macaulay Culkin, watch out.
Secret shame of the Lifebuoy boy. Paul.
What do you have, Raptor? Is this true, Paul? Are you hiding some secret?
No, I have done an advert. It goes out at the end of the month.
But he's not 11 though, you see.
It's for creosote.
No, he's not like...
Advert for creosote. Lots of people don't know how good creosote is. It's got a slogan, catchy slogan. Paint it on your wood to stop it rotting. Creosote. It comes in a tin marked creosote.
What's the brand name?
It's Cooper's creosote, the creosote you can trust. Is the Pope the only one with a coke habit? What was the name of that last one, Carl?
Carl Watkins of Redditch.
Of Redditch.
Of Redditch, yeah.
Yeah, he's the man who has sex with pavements.
Outrageous slur on Carl Watkins.
He's the man who has sex with pavements and has just gone to prison to serve, hard labour, I suppose. The Pope obviously kisses pavements, but other than that, he doesn't have sex with them. So he's the only one who has sex with pavements. How can I put it? He's the only one who has sex with pavements. I think that's Alistair Bennett fell over on a pavement after it rejected him. And Carl, what's his name, is the only one who has sex with pavements.
So, just to reiterate then...
The other three don't have sex with pavements.
Right. So it's the having sex with pavements that's your answer.
I wish I was being sponsored by the having sex with pavements. I'd be making a bomb here.
And Carl Watkins of Redditch was jailed, as Paul said, for 18 months this week after being repeatedly caught having sex with pavements.
What a surprise.
Footpaths.
Well, you could have fooled me.
Even on one occasion, Paul, with someone's back passage.
Gaza and Ken, Jules, have all said the F word on television shows. Fiona obviously hasn't said the F word on a television show, but she probably said it just after she'd left. One, maybe.
We can change that answer right now with one simple word, you know. Go on, do it. No. It's worth a
And that's it.
Kenneth Tynan was the first person to say f*** on television. I was the latest for 2 seconds.
No, you f***ing weren't.
Oh, yes, I f***ing was. Go on, Fiona! Go on, Fee! Go on!
No, you say it.
She says it at home.
How do you know?
It's that,
You must do.
Exactly. Have you ever been to Fiona's home?
Yes, don't talk about that. What? Has he been to my home? He's been shouting through my letterbox.
Is this true?
Really?
Has he been shouting?
I mean, I
from
will
the-
do if you really want me to, but I haven't.
It's a great scene, him looking through the letterbox. One of your only viewers.
No,
Oh, Ian!
Oh, I can't believe someone said that.
Well, thank God you never did, Ian. Tories and Lib Dems
way.
exchange what?
Bubblegum cards.
Bodily fluids.
It's a lovely image, thank you, Ian.
Yeltsin coxing the Oxford 8. Pulling someone's nasal hair. Not yours, is it?
No. Put it all together, and what have you got? Not my nasal hair, I mean... the
Couple of jumpers, I would think.
Simon Perry and Thora Hurd.
Who is Simon Perry?
He's a presenter of a children's television programme called
He
What's
looks
Up,
like a
Doc?
child molester. Does he share a dentist with David Mellor?
Oh dear.
I've been talking out my arse all night.
I thought it was a bit of an echo.
Okay, are you ready? Have you got your mic on now, Richard?
Testing, 1, 2.
Oh, good.
All right.
Richard, your meeting of like minds are Ken Livingstone, Lord Lichfield, Simon Perry,
Who's
and...
Simon Perry?
Sorry, Richard, you were saying? You were about to get it wrong.
Someone was going to tell me who Simon Perry was.
Oh, right. He's, yes, the presenter of a children's programme called What's Up, Doc?
He looks like a child molester, doesn't he? Does he share a dentist with David Mellor?
We're on a time loop here. Turning into an episode of Doctor Who, isn't it? Who's Simon Perry?
He's a children's presenter.
It's a children's television presenter.
Looks more like a child molester to me.
The answer is he's a children's television presenter. Is that the answer?
No, that's his profession, as opposed to the answer.
Looks more like a child molester to me.
Where did he get those teeth?
Does he share a dentist with David Mellor?
No, I think this is an advertising question, but it's not cheese. It's everyone's done ads. I mean, Paul Merton's done one for Imperial Leather.
You did an advert in Norway for Cooper's suet pudding. You don't talk
Damn,
about
I
that.
thought no one had seen it.
I've seen it.
No,
If you like
it's
suet pudding, buy it, it's really great.
The slogan was, if you like suet and you like pudding, you'll like suet pudding. Says TV's losing captain on Have I Got News For You.
Tri-Tempers went out with a mute aquamphibian woman called, and I don't know if you've ever been out with an aquamphibian woman, but
No, I haven't.
and she didn't make any noise. So 3 of them went out with people who you wish wouldn't make any noise at all, and Tri-Tempers went out with someone who didn't make any noise at all.
Was that Marina?
Yeah, Aquamarina.
They're all. What about they all use?
Aquamarina.
What is that strange enchantment that comes whenever you're Simon Perry? What about they're all models except Bill Clinton?
Does it live?
It's not live,
Is
it's...
it Paul Merton's desperate to win?
It's
Oh no, it doesn't fit.
It's actually dangerously close to live.
Exist?
Breathe.
It's the opposite, in other words.
Die.
Is right.
Is.
Ian wins
was a
with
headline.
getting the opposite of live. Well
What's the
done.
headline?
Pretty good for me.
Which wayward shots in the dark, as usual, act as a suitable closing number to another show. And the grim
Well, that's
news...
just ridiculous.
Mellor saying, I go to the same dentist as Simon Perry.
I think so. He looks like a child molester.
Well, many people have attempted to get on this show by sleeping with one of the team captains. Tonight we have someone who's not just slept with one, but even went as far as marrying him. The actress who's already being described as Mrs. Merton, Caroline Quentin.
I don't mind you saying all that, but why did I have to sleep with you as well?
It's just in the contract, I'm afraid. But thank you anyway.
All right.
Oh, this is that East German guy, Marcus Wolf.
Oh, yes.
Who's a bit upset.
Definitely.
Is that him?
Yeah, it's him, yeah.
Isn't that? What's he?
EC Source.
Isn't this some sort of EC regulation that they're going to ban smutty postcards? You know, the sort of big-bosomed ladies and policemen with their trousers round their ankles and thin vicars with their bums showing. You're going to say no, aren't you, after I've said all that?
I'm not
Vicars with their bums
thin
showing.
vicar.
I beg your pardon?
I'm losing a postcard with thin vicar with a bum showing.
You want to get out more.
That's it, that's the one. We've tried to be nice, we've tried to be kind.
You wait.
Yeah, I will wait, no.
Hey, you bloody have to after this behaviour.
Ian, shall we let them sit together?
I was going to recommend a good lawyer.
I expect you know a few. No, you don't, actually. do you?
One.
I feel as if I'm in the middle of a situation comedy here.
It's only a question of time, Angus.
Well,
Prince Albert gave his name to a peculiar form of body piercing apparently practiced by a number of Victorian men, in which the male member is held down by a metal ring to prevent visible movement in tight clothing. Linford Christie, please note.
Visible movement in tight clothing. Be a hell of a spring at the end of the day, wouldn't it?
Probably not.
Very good.
I think we'll draw a hasty veil over this one.
You should say.
I've been worried a lot lately.
Me too. Right.
Mickey Mouse get in then?
Eh? Well, he hasn't got a beard.
Well, he's a perfect
He's not
mouse.
a perfect human being, though, is he?
Better than some.
Got him into a lot of trouble.
John Selwyn Gummer's the odd one out.
Why?
Because he is.
And incredibly, you're right.
I thought she was saying, why is that man advertising soap? Couldn't they get Angus Deaton?
Ian and Mira, food for thought here.
Oh, they found Robert Maxwell, great.
I suppose you want extra points for that, don't you?
Oh, don't I get them?
No, you don't get any at
Don't
all.
take any notice of him.
no.
You know he's been knocking off my missus.
I saw that last week. It's absolutely extraordinary.
It was a contractual obligation, I've explained it.
So that was all the fine print that I couldn't read.
Yes, well,
It's the repeat fees that bother me.
yes, looking forward to the residuals. It's,
You do, you clear it up yourself.
yes. Look forward to this one going out at 8:30 on Saturday night.
That's what she said.
Several hours ago, you may remember, there was a question about whaling, to which we'll now
I
go
enjoyed
back.
the one about you knocking off Paul's missus.
Moving swiftly on, it is the International Whaling Commission in Kyoto, where Norway and Japan are fighting to make wheeling?
Yeah. It's illegal to put wheels on a whale. The Japanese think of them as stabilisers. Helps them to get down to the shops, in fact.
It's true, actually.
Yeah.
And also whaling.
She said, is next Thursday all right with you?
Unfortunately, I'm seeing Ian's wife that night. Yes, well done. It's the announcement that companies such as Tesco's may soon be building new hospitals in rural areas in exchange for old NHS sites in the centre of towns. The scheme is part of the government's plan to inject private sector policies into the health service, so look out for those family packs of plastic hip joints. Offers of 2 heart transplants for the price of 1 and a free copy of Family Circle with every anaesthetic. Not that you really need an anaesthetic if you read Family Circle. Paul.
Does Paul advertise Family Circle?
No, he writes in it.
He writes in it?
He's the main features editor.
Yes, I have done for 2 years, so you're well up on the press, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'll
Do we
read you
count
after
Family
Felicity.
Circle as the press?
Oh, yes.
I suppose the same as calling Imperial Leather a soap.
Well, it's not a horse, is it? What else?
The way you advertise it, I can't tell.
Oh, really? And there's you doing your adverts for Cooper's Creosote.
I've not seen that commercial. It sounds intriguing.
You'll be doing the voiceover soon enough.
Monday morning, actually, oddly enough. Yes, even now,
Well, you're not
hospitals...
too busy knocking off my wife.
So jealous.
Is Batman the odd one out? Because all the others have published books about cats and are notorious cat lovers.
Well, I'll give you one, because
Thank
you
you
got
very
it
much. I'll tell the wife. Keep it in the family, I am.
Wednesday night, all right? Yeah, I'll give you one because you got the...
Is that the same one as you gave me earlier? You're a fit boy, aren't you?
But I'll give Mira one as well.
well, why don't you start in the front row of the audience? You animal!
I'm afraid that's just the sort of man I am. Is it
1 in 3 green elephants.
I'll give you one for that. Of the young is the right
You should
answer.
give me 2.
Well, that's very kind of
Who's
you, but
younger than
You need to get some sort of rota system, really.
I'm going to be exhausted by the end of the week. Next, Bert joins what at last?
Q for Angus Dayton's sexual favours.
So that's where I draw the line, I'm afraid. Next, who is Mr. Wobbly?
Apparently you are, Angus. Oh, I can see what's wrong with it, mate. There's a fat bloke stuck under your rear axle.
On which unfeasible note we say thank you to our guests.
Look at that fat nutter with a car on his head. Oi, mate, you got a car on your head.
Thank you.
You'll never do a 3-point turn. Not with that car on your head, you won't. Look, mummy, that man's got a car on his head.
The car on your head monologue by Paul Merton.
So we're penciling in Thursday, are we?
Yes. Wednesday, I think. It's Thursday with your wife.
All right.
That was actually a drama documentary. Angus was playing one of the files in it.
All the rim binding was particularly good.
It's all method with him. Apparently he went and sat in the shelf for weeks.
And slightly less wooden than it is normally as well, just before anyone else does that joke. Thank you.
The wife says hello, by the way.
Yes.
My wife, obviously.
No. She's being named as the third party in the divorce proceedings.
Sir David, I'm sure you've read the whole treaty.
Of course.
Perhaps you could take us through it.
It takes the Scandinavians to get excited about it. I don't think we've got the right temperament.
No.
If you've read it all,
yes.
Who does it in the end?
2 years ago, with Robert Maxwell poised to take over the club, Venables chose to let Alan Sugar take over instead. The words fire and frying pan immediately spring to mind.
Was it the butler? That's what I had my money on. 'Cause he turns up in the beginning, doesn't he, the Maastricht Treaty? And nobody's really sure who he is, you know. He's just sort of hanging around, you know.
I think it's a red herring there. Yeah.
She said she had a lovely meal, by the way. Been a long time since she had a kebab.
And very good of her to pay for it on the joint account.
It's actually called a kabaka, to be technically, and he comes at the end of the Maastricht Treaty.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Is he the one who explains it all?
That's it, yeah.
Whose cigar was it smouldering in the ashtray? Says Gasman Ron. But there's still one thing I don't understand, Gasman Ron. How did you know that Mrs. Willows was alone in the house when nobody else was there? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just babbling on now. It was a mini-series,
told
couldn't
him.
it?
Yes.
Are you still here?
No.
This is President Mitterrand being rude about the... well, he didn't actually say British snail, he didn't even say escargot britannique. This
Which is a
what comes of
surprise
reading
for him,
this,
isn't it?
This is what comes of reading the Maastricht
Your
Treaty.
accent's terrifically good. It's better than Edward Heath's.
Not bad. They have this thing called the train grand vitesse. I'm at it again.
You're making it up.
No, no.
You're just making up words and trying to pass it off as French. Anyone can do that.
It's known to the likes of you as the TGV.
How
right?
dare you.
TGV. Monsieur Mitterrand was making the point that this thing goes zooming through France and under the tunnel, and then when it gets here it slows down.
Does it go under the tunnel? There's a mistake for a start. I think the French have a phrase for this, don't they? They say, See, I can do that as well.
Until next year, BR's only use for the terminal will be for art exhibitions. Now arriving at platform 4, the Déjeuner sur l'herbe by Manet.
He's doing it now.
But he's doing impressionists, isn't he?
Yes. Boom, boom.
What was that noise then? Was that your testicles dropping?
Pamela Valdez cut the groins out of Andrew Neil's suits. Sadly, he wasn't wearing them at the time.
That suit hasn't got a groin.
Might do.
No, it hasn't. Groin's part of the human body.
Are you suggesting that suit jackets don't have arms, then?
No, I'm saying that trousers don't have groins. Hence my use of the word trousers and groins in close proximity.
But by the same token, would you not say that if a jacket can have arms...
I prefer it when you two do the bit about knocking off his wife.
That's only because you like to watch. You owe me 15 quid anyway for the other night. I don't just hire out step ladders to anybody, you know.
We shan't delve into that.
The chemist said the pictures will be back on Saturday, right?
I'm what, boasts Lamont?
I'm Angus's new lover.
He won't stop, will he? Clark says I want to be what?
Angus's new lover. They're all at it.
Leitmotif running through the show.
Angus Dayton's sex life?
Not this time, no.
TV's Mr. Sex, the story. I thought it was the dog saying, return to your constituency and prepare my dinner.
The President had apparently been to another barber only 48 hours earlier to get his sideburns and neck trimmed. Didn't realise we had a werewolf in the White House. Still, no ear hair, that's the main thing. Revelling in Clinton's discomfort...
What about those sideburns? What do we think of the sideburns? Rubbish, yeah, I thought so.
So has this turned into some sort of game show where getting votes from the audience?
Yeah, front page of the Daily Star tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah.
Angus's sideburns in TV horror. They're rubbish, claims disgruntled studio audience.
Well,
so why are you growing them?
Well, I don't grow them, they just grow on their own, really.
Well, they wouldn't grow on their own if you just put them in a dish and left them there. You must accept some responsibility for your own hair.
Well, I don't sort of rub fertiliser into them, if that's what...
I didn't suggest you did rub fertiliser. I asked you why you were growing them.
So were we talking about Bill Clinton just now? Or,
the subject has moved on to a far more interesting area.
Well, that says maybe. Revelling in Clinton's discomfort...
So is there a reason why you're growing them?
I'm actually growing them because your wife rather liked them.
Let her grow her own.
It's just occurred to me that John Simpson is no stranger to the weed. He has danced naked in the jungle with something up his ooter. And
Is this the time to walk out, or do I wait till later?
Well, he's worse than the odd one out because he doesn't do stuff.
It is a perfect answer, yes.
Am I allowed
to chip in?
It's true, he shows nosy.
Yes, you can set the world to rights.
I was in the jungle. I was in the jungle.
There was nothing on the telly, I was bored.
It seemed a good idea at the time.
I smoked a few trees.
Half-naked savages came towards me waving implements. That was the television crew. They boiled up some stuff. I thought... I drank it. I thought I was going to see the secret of the universe. But it's actually true that a 6-foot goldfish put his flipper around my shoulders. I think this is the time to tell you he had dark glasses and a straw hat on. And said, "How's it going, man?" And I said, "Fine, thanks." And he then evaporated, and that rests a case for the defence.
Yeah, it might well be the secret of the universe. That might.
Do you think it is?
Yeah, I mean that fish that was caught in the Queen Mother's throat might have been trying to communicate with us. All you need is love, or something.
Was that 6 foot?
It wasn't by the time she'd finished chewing it.
Is that the only time you've been stoned? What about...
Can we just talk this over privately afterwards?
John Simpson here, whilst working in the South American jungle, as we heard, took mind-expanding drugs. He said, light spread and grew in my head, and a nearby tree turned into the great Ishtar Gate of Babylon.
It seemed like a good idea at the time.
John Simpson, BBC News.
Somewhere in Babylon.
Yes.
You haven't got any left, have you?
See me afterwards. There's a little man out there with no clothes on.
Is there?
Yes. He'll do it.
And so...
Is that Martin Bell?
Only after you've had several drinks.
I'm just wondering, are we here or is this just a trip you're having?
No, it is a trip. Yeah, it is a
No,
trip.
this can't be real. We're losing, look.
No, it's real, I can assure you. Next, We're Boring admits who?
It must be Arsenal, is it?
True, but not the answer. And I leave you with news that London Zoo today announced the birth of the world's first showbiz chicken. And finally, there's chaos at a young socialist conference when Roy Hattersley sneezes on the podium. And with Paul Merton this week, we were hoping to be joined by the Right Honourable Roy Hattersley, but sadly, and for the third time in our brief history, he's pulled out at the last minute due to having something better to do. So, as his replacement, liable to give much the same performance, and imbued with many of the same qualities, we're delighted to welcome a tub of lard. So, we scream hysterically into round one. Paul and the tube of lard, or indeed tub of lard.
Shouldn't it be the tub of lard and the other tub of lard?
Paul and the tub of lard, what's the story behind this piece of film?
Oh, this is the story of the New Age travellers blocking the M1 with, I'm sorry, the M5.
Do you have anything else to add? Does
Ask him.
It's a speciality prostitute. Oh my God! It's Mary Archer. I shouldn't really say that. Oh dear. And that was
Jeffrey Archer has just given her £5,000. Oh no, he couldn't have done because he's met her, isn't he?
Yeah.
And they're not at a railway station.
Paul and the tub of lard.
Bit formal. Can't we call him Tubby?
Tubby. Okay, Paul and Tubby. A name...
Mr. Lard to you.
Paul and Viscount. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we turn to Michael Winner's underpants. 2 weeks ago, in our Odd One Out round, whilst referring to Miss Simone Hyams making love to the film director Mr. Michael Winner, we alleged Miss Hyams said Mr. Winner's wife fronts were unwashed. We accept Miss Hyams did not say this. We would like to emphasise that Mr. Winner's underpant hygiene is of the very highest calibre.
But when she said they were unwashed, they just might have been new.
That's true. That's doubtless the case, I think.
I don't think you should apologise. I think we should go to trial and see if the underpants stand up in court.
Which of course they wouldn't, because they're unblemished. Yeah. Tub of lard, a curious claim for you. No conferring. Sex, beer and neat moustaches solve riddle of the pyramids.
Well, since he can't do it, I think...
Hang on a minute!
I haven't given him a chance.
He's only just seen it. He can't see the monitor from there anyway, look.
It's only a score for team, then score with my missus.
Oh yes, I read this. This is an American football team, and the coach of this team gave his teenage players an incentive that if they did... Very simple, really. If they did well, they could shag his wife. But apparently, no, there was a sliding scale, if that's the way to put it. Back to lard again.
I think you've put it, yes.
You know, if they scored 1 point or whatever, they got oral sex. It was all rather saucy, really.
Yes, it is. It's American football coach Randy Brown, who's been on...
No, that wasn't his name. It wasn't.
Randy Brown. Tub of lard, a rather easy one for you. Princess Diana. Cilla Black. Barry Manilow. And Pinocchio.
Is it Barry Manilow?
Yes. Oddly. What's the
Nose jobs.
In 1982, Diana disappeared from public view for 3 months and came back, according to top plastic surgeon Eric Jackson, with a reshaped nose. Here's before and after. Diana's always denied it, but unlike Pinocchio, her nose seems to have got smaller rather than larger.
That's conclusive. In one picture she's looking down, and the next one she's looking up. I reckon the Daily Star's made its case pretty well.
Are you poo-pooing this, Ian? Are you standing up for the princess?
Sounds like a winner joke. No, I'm not. No, I'm standing up for the princess.
Oh, good.
More than Charles ever did. In bed, anyway.
Allegedly.
Just nonsense.
Why would he stand up in bed?
National anthem might be playing on the radio.
He might have a tub of lard, Andy, you never know.
Major eases what?
Himself into Lamont's welcoming buttocks. well, I know it's not...
That sounds like a pub somewhere in the countryside. The welcoming buttocks. Welcomes careful drivers.
I know.
Do you take access? Of course, sir.
I know it's not satire, but it's just quite a funny image.
It's a hideous image. Lamont ready to rattle what at Major?
Thresh a bag full of empty bottles.
Well, if it's what Tony says, it's welcoming buttocks, isn't it?
You can't rattle buttocks, can you?
Depends where he keeps his change.
Well, like the Romans used to keep it in their mouth, didn't they?
Yes. All right, thank you. Paul and the tub of lard. Here are your headlines, which, as it's our last show, have something of an international flavour. Monsieur Clinton s'apprêterait de changer what?
Right, well, bearing in mind that I did metal work... Right, Monsieur Clinton. So, what does that sound like? So, don't know what that is.
Not
changes the... is it Director of Media Communications?
No, it's Monsieur Clinton s'apprêterait à changer de underpants.
Oui, Monsieur Clinton s'apprêterait à changer des pantalons pristinement blancs de Michael Winner.
Allegedly.
Allègement.
If anyone's interested, I can make a trowel. Is it Director of...
Yes, you're Directeur de la Communication is absolument right.
I think we got that.
We got that.
Die Bank von England gibt große what zu?
Well, I don't know. Is it...
Angus, I know this.
Yeah, we know this.
I know this. Die Bank van England gießt große Stinkpensen der britische Filmendirektor. And his wife, Zoo.
Grosse amounts of money to fat Bundesbankers.
9. It's Besorgnis. It's the.
Bless you.
I'm amazed you didn't get.
I'm not in one of John Simpson's trips. I'm sitting here with a tub of lard trying to answer questions in German.
Well, we shan't ask another one in German.
Well, good.
Next, what Kack-Symbol Jaworsky Zasi?
Well, it's not Michael Winner because the second word's cack, look.
No.
Some of those letters are upside down, look.
They like it like that.
What's that one at the end? It looks like a sort of seagull flying off, look.
It's Russian.
That's an A.
Oh, it's Russian. Oh, I do beg your pardon.
It's Russian. They're allowed to do
Is
that.
it Yeltsin?
Yeltsin?
No.
Is it Yeltsin? What? I must have been off sick the day we did this at school.
Yeltsin is...
The tub of lard's no bloody good, look!
completely...
It says made in the EEC here, I've not had a word out of it.
Is it perestroika or something? Or something
it's
like
nothing even
Big
remotely
Mac,
like
potato.
that. It's slightly closer to home. It's actually Lord Owen.
No.
Next up is... Wakihol Kaisei Kyo. What?
Is it bean fried rice?
It's actually...
Gary Lineker.
Sairitsu is actually the answer I was looking for, which means...
What does that word mean?
Labour Standard Law.
Oh, of course.
And finally, what?
Fish found on moon, antelope on bicycle. Potato cures boredness, claims mad vicar.
TV's Angus shagging Merton's wife.
It's close. It's actually DLT quits Radio 1.
Now you say it, it's obvious, isn't it?
I know. Which valiant attempts at linguistic competence see us winging our way to the end of this round programme and indeed series, and the final showdown seems to have ended with the hardly satisfactory conclusion that this week's down and outs are Ian and Tony with 16, and this week's upwardly mobiles are Paul and the Tub of Lard with 20.
It is getting rather sad when I can't win against Paul when he's accompanied by a tub of lard and the questions are in a foreign language.
We did everything we could, Ian, but...
I feel like Graham Taylor.
And finally, Virginia Bottomley performs her famous shadow puppet of a Thai prostitute.